Okay, guys, hello and welcome back after a really long week, I guess. Today, we are going to discuss the phylum Arthropoda. It is a bit long. This phylum has many subphylums and classes, so it is quite long, but don't lose patience. We will deal with it in really short. First of all, you might know that arthropods have chitinous exoskeleton. That exoskeleton is made of chitin, and that's why it is like surviving better than the others, because it provides it protection from chemicals and all the harsh environmental conditions. Then it shows stigmatization. Now what does this mean? Like, we have seen that segments are seen in body. Similarly, in case of arthropods, the few segments which are same, they combine together to form a specific part. Like, few segments will combine together to form the head, other few will form the thorax and the abdomen, and each such group of segments is called as tagmata. Then, talking about the body layer, now it has an the outermost is the epicuticle, which is waxy and waterproof, so it does not allow the loss of water from the body surface. Then below the epicuticle, it has the procuticle, which has chitin, which is made up of chitin and polysaccharide. Chitin is for the protection and support, and procuticle undergoes hardening by deposition of minerals, and this process is called as sclerotization. Now, as the body is covered with chitin, so for its growth it needs to shed off the cuticle which is present in the outermost body layer. It needs to be shed off so that the body can grow in size, and then again new cuticle is formed, and this complete process is called as ecdysis, breaking down of the old cuticle, the growth of the body, and then reformation of the cuticle is called as ecdysis. Now, ecdysis, which organ and which hormone is responsible for this process of ecdysis? In crustaceans, there is presence of a Y organ, and in insects, there is presence of prothoracic glands. Now, both these gland, and this Y organ and this prothoracic gland, it will secrete ecdysteroid hormone, which is responsible for the molting. Now, in arthropods, for respiration, many different organs are present, like gills, book lungs, and trachea. Gills is present in prawn and crab, book lungs in arachnids like spider, scorpion, book gills in crab, and insects have trachea. This information may be asked in some competitive examinations or may not be asked. Like, in some, if there is match the following, then this may come. Now, talking about the classification, this part you need to see properly so that you understand. Like, classification, it has subphylums. First is the Trilobetomorpha, next is the Chelicerata, and then is the subphylum Mandibulata. So these are the three subphylums, and it is further divided into classes. So first, in Trilobetomorpha, we don't have to study any class. In Chelicerates, we have Merostomata, Arachnida, and Pycnogonidia. You can just see it like this. There are so many classes. And then we have subphylum Mandibulata, in which we have Crustacea, Diplopoda, Chilopoda, and Insecta. And under Crustacea, again we have to study Brachiopoda, Ostracoda, Copepoda, Malacostraca and Cirripedia. We will study all these in really short, so you don't need to worry about it. Like for some only few information is required, and for others it is almost the same with few differences. Like Mandibulata is the largest, so either I will make a separate video for it so that not everything doesn't get mixed up. So first we will start with subphylum Trilobetomorpha. This phylum can be understood with the help of a single diagram. This is the diagram of a species of Trilobetomorpha. Now in this you can see that trilobite means 3 lobes. So this organism has 3 lobes. This is marked as 1, 2 and 3, as you can see in the diagram. So it has 3 lobes, and the first and the third lobe is covered with the carapace. It is covered with the carapace. The Trilobetomorpha has no living representative now, and the exoskeleton is of carapace present in the first and the third segment. First segment is called as the cephalon, second segment is called as thorax, and third is called as the pygidium. Okay, so this was the only information you need to know about Trilobetomorpha, and it has this compound eyes and antenna. Just you have to know that Trilobetomorpha means 3 lobes, nothing more. So it was quite easy, I guess. Similarly, all the phylums and classes will be dealt in this easy way. So next we had the subphylum Chelicerata. In Chelicerata, if we talk about general body morphology, the body is divided into 2 portions, the prosoma and the opisthosoma. Okay, these are the 2 distinct portions of the body. So in the first pair of appendage in Chelicerata is called the chelicerae. So it is easy to learn the name of the first pair of appendage as it has derived its name from the phylum itself. Chelicerata has the first pair of appendage as chelicerae, and it is used for feeding purpose. Okay, now in Chelicerata, as we have seen, the first class is Merostomata. Okay, so we will see Merostomata in detail. Now its example is Limulus or king crab, which is extinct. It is not found anymore, Limulus or king crab, and I'm really sorry for the background noises. Just kindly cooperate with me in this video. The Limulus or king crab, which belongs to Merostomata, is extinct now. Now in this, as we have seen that in chelicerates we have 2 portions, prosoma and opisthosoma. So talking about prosoma is actually the head and thorax combined together, and it is covered by carapace, which is the exoskeleton. Now in the prosoma, the first appendage you can say is the chelicerae, as we saw in the general characteristic. Then after the first pair, we have 5 pairs of walking legs. Okay, after the first pair of appendage we have 5 pairs of walking legs. So the first one is called the pedipalp. Okay, so it's like the first we talked about was chelicerae, and then we have 5 pairs, 1 2 3 4 5, just trying to make you understand. So out of this 5, the first is called the pedipalp. You can understand like this. If this is suppose the 5 pair, so the first is called the pedipalp. Okay, and in the male it is used for grasping the females. Okay, and in females it is like for general use for walking, but in males it is modified to grasp the females. And from first to fourth, like first one is called pedipalp, and then 1 2 3 4. So from 1 to 4 it has a gnatho base which is used for grinding. The ends of the walking legs has a grinding surface which is called the nathobase, and it is used for grinding purpose. And the fifth one is used for cleaning the gills, etc. This much information is not required for competitive exams, but just to know the morphology of merostomata, we are discussing it. Then we have discussed the prosoma. Now comes the opisthosoma, in which there are 6 pairs of appendages. The first is for the reproduction, and it is called the genital operculum, and the second to sixth are modified as gills, which are called as book gills. Merostomata has book gills present in them. So this was about merostomata. Then after merostomata, what do we have? We have arachnida. So now moving on to arachnida. Now in this, the organisms which comes are spider, mites, ticks, scorpions, crab, etc. You can remember it like this, that arachnida has all the weird and dangerous species, like which I fear at least: spider, mites, ticks, scorpions and crabs. And in this also, first pair will be called as chelicerae and second pair is called as the pedipalp. Respiration here is through book lungs. Now spider, as we know, can spin webs, so it has the spinnerets present which secretes silk proteins, and it can build its web from it. This was all to know about arachnida, and individual species study is you can do based on your own interest, but that much is not required from the exam point of view. Then after arachnida, we have pycnogonidia. So in pycnogonidia, we just have to remember that in arachnida, we saw that spiders were present. In pycnogonidia, sea spiders are present, and sea spiders have legs 3 times the body size. You might have seen in Google photos or anything like that, that the body is really small and the legs are very large as compared to the body size. It is 3 times the body size, and it is called as sea spiders, and these belong to pycnogonidia. Only this much needs to be known about pycnogonidia. Now in mandibulata, next is our subphylum Mandibulata. So in this first we will discuss Diplopoda and Chilopoda together. Like Diplopoda and Chilopoda comes under class Myriapoda. Okay, Myriapoda means many feet. You might have heard that Chilopoda, Diplopoda are called as the centipede and millipede, which have thousands of feet. Therefore they belong to Myriapoda, which means many feet. Chilopoda mein it will come centipede, and diplopods have millipede. Diplopod name has been given because it stands for double foot. Why it is called double foot, we will see in a short while. Now talking about first centipede, they live in moist habitat. And why they live in moist habitat? Because the spiracles present in their body surface are always open, so the water is continuously being lost from their body surface. So to prevent that, they need a moist habitat to live, and they are nocturnal, and they have a repugnatorial gland, chelopods, so that they can discourage predation to protect themselves from being killed. And diplopods is called double foot because in its body, in each segment, 2 foot are present instead of 1. In Chilopoda, if in one segment 1 pair of feet is present, in Diplopoda, I hope it's visible what I'm trying to say, and 2 foot are present in each segment, and that's why it is called as double foot. Now next we have discussed both Diplopoda and Chilopoda. Now moving on to class Insecta. Now, class Insecta can be divided into aterigotes and pterygotes based upon they have wings or not. Like aterigotes do not have wings and pterygotes have wings. Insecta have compound eyes present. They have compound eyes and 2 pairs of wings are present in class Insecta. Now, the second pair of wings is called as halters in housefly and mosquito. That's why when the mosquito is present near your ears, then you can see that buzzing sound that is due to the halters in housefly and mosquito. That's why that specific noise comes when they fly. Now, the insects are able to fly. The pterygotes, I'm talking about the pterygotes, those can fly. Now, how is flight possible in them, or what changes came in them, what adaptations they took that made flight possible? First was the muscles developed, then this body size is small, which helps to bear the weight and therefore they can fly. Then they have water impermeable body. Water is not lost from the body and therefore they don't get dehydrated, and highly developed nervous and sensory system to help them navigate in the 3D environment. That can be done with the highly developed nervous and sensory system. Now, you might have heard that insects undergo different stages of development, like in case of butterfly, they form the pupa stage, the larval stages. So the different stages through which the insect grow, they are called as the instars. You might have heard it already, and you might have studied about the different stages, like the different types of stages, like the Ametabolus, Holometabulus. We will discuss it shortly. So for this extra information, I wanted you to know that the disease caused due to mosquito are malaria and filariasis, and the pathogen responsible for malaria is Plasmodium, and vector is the female Anopheles mosquito. And for filariasis, we had studied in Ascalmin's that the pathogen responsible is Wuchereria and the vector is Culex or Aedes mosquito. Discussing about the mouth parts of insects, it has biting and chewing type of mouth, which can be seen in cockroach, piercing and sucking in mosquito, sponging in housefly, chewing and lapping type in honeybees, and siphoning in butterfly and moths. This is a general question which can be asked in like match the following. The chances are less, but this you have been studying from your lower classes itself, so just a revision is enough. Next is the metamorphosis part, which is of 3 types: Ametabulus, Holometabulus and Hemimetabulus. In Ametabulus, there will be like no different stages will be present. The egg will just develop into the young one, which will resemble the adult, and then it will just grow into an adult form. Holometabulus will show the nymph or the naiad stage, and Hemimetabulus will show different stages, as in the case of butterfly, which has larval stage and pupal stage, and then it grows into a full butterfly. And this metamorphosis depends upon the juvenile hormone, which is secreted by corpora ellata. The insects have corpora ellata. This is the spelling of corpora ellata. So the metamorphosis depends on corpora ellata, and if this juvenile hormone is inactive, then only metamorphosis will be able to take place. This was just an introduction of the insecta. We will see metamorphosis in detail and social system in detail in our next video. Till then, you can go through. This was like very simple. We in this video discussed about arthropoda, the general characteristics of arthropoda. It has a chitinous exoskeleton. It shows stigmatization. It has a layer of cuticle, which undergoes ecdysis, and then ecdysis is due to the ecdysteroid hormone. Respiration is through various types of organs. Its classification is important, like if you're able to remember it. Trilobetomorpha we discussed in short. It was just that it has 3 lobes. In Chelicerate, body has 2 parts, the prosoma and the opisthosoma. In the Merostomata we talked about the details of the appendages in the prosoma and opisthosoma, and it has limulus or king crab as the example, which is fossil. In arachnids we discovered all the weird species like the spiders, ticks, mites, etc. And in Pycnogonidia, the easy way to learn is that the example is sea spider, which has 3 times the body size as compared 3 times as compared the body size. Then in Mandibulata we first discussed about Diplopoda and Chilopoda, which comes under Myriapoda, and it has many feet. And in Insecta we just discussed about their wings, and there are 2 types, the apterygotes and the pterygotes. Compound eyes they have, 2 pairs of wings, and how it can fly, what adaptations have led to flight in Insecta. The development or the metamorphosis part we will see in more detail in our next video. The disease which the mosquito can cause, and types of mouth parts, which is just a basic information.